Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty Ghosts and another episode of Chem Strike Saturday, which of course is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me in Chem Strikes. This one was sent in by a guy named Dirk, who is a first-time guest here on Chem Strike Saturday, and what we got going on here is pretty freaking amazing. It's a knife-only Chem Strike. I mean, come on, I think we all understand how awesome a knife-only Chem Strike is. This is probably the third or fourth knife-only strike that we've seen here on Chem Strike Saturday, which is pretty great, and what we got going on here is a game of Team Deathmatch, actually. Team Deathmatch on the map Tremor, and we never see Team Deathmatch Chem Strikes here in the show, so it's definitely awesome to see that. We're going to be running around throughout the entirety of this video, using knifing people, throwing knifing people, and getting ourselves a Chem Strike. So let's start talking about the perks first and foremost, as to what helped him get this Chem Strike. So first and foremost, man, we got Marathon, which is just one of the best perks in the game, especially if you're trying to knife only. I can't imagine a knife only class that doesn't utilize Marathon. It doesn't make any sense, and it's kind of funny, because like you think back to like the Call of Duty 4 and World of War days, even back then, when people wanted to knife only, which I was one of those people on occasion. I was never like a strictly knife only player or anything like that, but I did like the knife on occasion. If you want to do that efficiently, you need to have extreme conditioning. The perk was called extreme conditioning back then. It wasn't even unlimited sprint. It was only like a longer sprint duration. It wasn't unlimited. So it was kind of a pain to be able to knife only in those games. But yeah, you're going to need something that's allow you to sprint more if you're going to try and knife only. He's got strong arm, which is going to make his throwing knives a bit more efficiently. Again, going back to the Call of Duty 4 and World of War thing, you were really kind of limited as what you could do in those games. You know, the idea of having throwing knives actually giving knife only players kind of a ranged attack is pretty freaking great as compared to what we had back then. You know, the first implementation of throwing knives back in Modern Warfare 2 made it so much easier for knife only players and added an entire new element to trying to be a knife only player, or even just try to knife only for a match or two. Like, you can knife only and not be a knife only player, but having throwing knives actually made it a lot easier. It added a whole new layer to knifing only, which is pretty great. We've got Reflex, which is going to allow him to actually throw his throwing knives a bit better. We've got Scavenger, which is pretty freaking essential if you want to be using throwing knives efficiently, because chances are with throwing knives, you're going to miss quite a bit. There are a lot of people out there, and we have seen a few of them here on Chem Strike Saturday, where they're just like ridiculously good with their throwing knife, ridiculously accurate with it, but on occasion you're gonna miss it, and instead of like trying to run around and grab your knife and trying to find where your knife's landed and stuff, you choose Scavenger, you pick up another one. And speaking of another one, we have Extra Lethal, which is going to go ahead and allow him to have 2 throwing knives as compared to the only one where you would get if you were just to use, you know, not use Extra Lethal. So it's pretty good to have that, I suppose, if you're trying to be a knife only player, to have 2 throwing knives with Scavenger rather than 1 throwing knife, especially 1 throwing knife without Scavenger, right? Because that's the most worthless. That would be really hard to do well with that. But throughout the rest of the Chem Strike here, we're basically just going to be running around and trying to find people. That's the beauty of knife-only Chem Strikes as well. Like, we've seen a lot of Chem Strikes here in the show where, for example, it's like domination on Warhawk, right? And the enemy team is at the A flag, and you see the person go into the bar and just take out a ton of people from the bar. And it's like a set strategy. Like, okay, this is what he's doing because the spawn points are here, the spawn points are here. This is how the guy's going to try and get the Chem Strike. He's staying in this high traffic area and he's doing well. Whenever you see a knife only Chem Strike, it's never anything like that. It's just because you have to run around. You can't set up like a strategy when you're knifing only. Of course, there's a bit of strategy to it. It comes to spawn knowledge, and it comes to map awareness, and it comes to understanding the traffic flow of the particular match you're playing. But ultimately, it comes down to you have to run around a crap ton if you want to try and do well knifing only, which I have knifed only a little bit back in my day. Not too much, but I used to do it back in the day, way back when. Back during World of War especially, because, I don't know, something about World of War is it was kind of like the first Call of Duty I played, right, where I was like really into Call of Duty. And we were also really into like the Friday the 13th movies, especially back then, which I still am a big fan of Friday the 13th. I'm still a big fan of the Halloween movies, which are both just great franchises in my opinion. But I've seen every one of them like so many times, like they're not even interesting to watch anymore. I'm really hoping for new ones. But even like back then, like back when the new Friday the 13th came out, like the most recent Friday the 13th came out. That was around the time of World of War. I think it was a little bit after. I might be wrong on that date. But I remember specifically, like, after watching that movie and stuff, my cousin and I were like, okay, why don't we ever try knifing only in Call of Duty? We never thought the knife only in Call of Duty. And so, like, we wouldn't do what you're seeing, like, in this gameplay. We weren't, like, running around all rampant, like, you know, taking people out and, you know, using throwing knives and stuff. We didn't have that kind of stuff. We were using, like, Dead Silence and UAV Jammer, which I think it had a different name in World of War. It might have been called Camouflage. camouflage. I forget what it was called in that game, to be perfectly honest. But we're using like basically like the Ghost version equivalent of that game, and Dead Silence, you know, and Bomb Squad and things like that, you know. And we were like hiding instead of like running around like proactively like trying to find people. We were just look at this guy come sliding into the door. Instead of trying to like run out and find people like you're seeing here in this Chem Strike, we would like hide. Like I'm thinking specifically on the map Outskirts in World at War. Like we would go up to like the farm on like the outer edges of the map where nobody ever goes, and we would like lay in a bush, and we're like, okay, one guy walks past here, I'm gonna go get him. I'm gonna get that guy that walks past here. But it never turned out well. We would go like 1-0 throughout the entirety of the match or something like that. But the Chem Strike's going off here. I hope you guys all enjoyed this Chem Strike. It was pretty awesome, man. I like watching knife only stuff. It's kind of cool how knifing has evolved to where people can do ridiculously good with a knife. It's sometimes crazy how good they can do. But unfortunately, this is where the gameplay actually cuts off right here. Like the gameplay he actually sent me, this is where it cut off. So we couldn't actually see the final score. But it being team deathmatch, there's only 7 kills left. Chances are his final score is going to be something pretty similar to the score you're seeing on your screen right now, which is 31 kills and 0 deaths with the Chem Strike while knifing only. Pretty freaking awesome. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of Chem Strike Saturday, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And if you guys would like to send in your guys' Chem Strikes for next week's episode of Chem Strike Saturday, everything you guys need to see is on your screen right now. No commentary, no color correction. Try and render your video out to a very nice quality. Take that high quality video, upload it to YouTube as unlisted, link me via personal message here on YouTube, and then congratulations, you have submitted your video for next week's episode of Chem Strike Saturday. If you guys would like to go ahead and check out Dirk, he goes by Dirk aka Diggler over on his YouTube channel. He's a first-time guest here on the show, and if you want to check him out, his channel is youtube.com/Dirk0Diggler with 1G. Gotta say, man, not the best channel name in the world, especially because you call yourself Diggler with 2 G's, but your channel name has 1 G. Oh, it's confusing, it's confusing. It's tough to kind of put your finger on exactly what Dirk does on his YouTube channel. I was looking through a lot of his videos today, of course, after I watched his submission for Chem Strike Saturday. He doesn't post a lot, but he has been posting off and on for about 2 years. So he's like one of those guys, he's been around for a long time, but he doesn't post really consistently. He does have a lot of knife-only montages here on Call of Duty, but he also at the same time has like GTA 5 videos over there where he does stunts and stuff like that with like a motorcycle. And it's hard to put your finger on exactly what he does. Basically, his videos are kind of random, but whenever he does something cool in a video game, he uploads it. That's basically like what you can get from his channel. Anytime he does something pretty cool, chances are he's going to upload it and you're going to enjoy what it is he uploads. So check him out. That's youtube.com/Dirk0Diggler with 1G. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of Chem Strike Saturday. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.